Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dancers Doing Stuff. If this is your first time watching, welcome. And if you've been here before, you know the deal. My name is Haley, and I'm so excited that you're here. My guest, I'm literally like an Instagram stalker of her. I'm obsessed with her. She is not only an amazing dancer who can do all styles like legs for days, turns like you're gonna see in this video I have. She is like spinning her life away. She is, well, her name is Maya Kazzaz. I didn't even say that. But along with being a great dancer, she is also a digital branding website designer. She is like a master at branding. Seriously, I say it all the time. I need to hire her. You should all hire her. Have her do your website. It's so important for dancers and regular people. You know, we are our business, as they say. So she is great. I could talk about her forever. Let's watch this video of her dancing because it is so good. And I just can't wait to bring her on because I have so many questions. Like, that reel is amazing. It fit the music so perfectly. That little boom, boom, and the boom, boom. Oh my God, I'm obsessed. I honestly watched it like multiple times before this episode just for fun because I was so inspired by watching it. So let's bring her in. As always, big applause.
Hi,
Yay! Welcome, welcome.
thanks for having me. I
Of
forgot I edited
course.
that reel and I was watching it and I was like, oh my God, that's new. I haven't seen it in so long that
It
I
is
forgot that
so good. I was gonna say, did you edit that?
I did. I did. I just didn't remember that I updated it. And then I was like, oh my God,
It
those are new
fits
videos.
so well. It bothers me so much when people's dancing doesn't match the music in their reel. I'm like, come on, you have a minute. Make it fun. Really make it fit. So that was so satisfying.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, our craft for today, I don't think we can mess it up, which I say often and often mess it up. But I have this idea of making a little dry erase DIY situation with these picture frames. And I thought it would be cool because I know that you're always posting on your story like your little schedule for the day. And I wanted it to be like a craft that would be useful. And I know like you're moving into a new apartment. So hopefully you can make it cute and like actually have a practical craft this time instead of just like some random tchotchke that you have in your house. So super simple. We got these frames from Michaels. And basically, what we're gonna do is just paint it however you want. You could honestly keep it plain too if that like is your vibe or your aesthetic. That's like the popular word these days, aesthetic. Apparently, I'm like library aesthetic or something. Light academia. I don't know. There's all these words. Bad. I'm not a baddie. I wish I was, but it's not me. But basically, you just paint it however you want, and then you take out this lovely picture of this assuming mom and daughter, and you can put any kind of like paper in there, keep it white paper, whatever, and then you are able to write on the glass with a dry erase marker. So it's really simple. and I don't think we can mess it up. So let's try. Do you have any ideas for what you want to do with yours?
Well, I didn't think about this schedule thing. Now I'm like, ugh, that's so cute. But I have these like pages of this book. It's like a part of some book that I have, and I have a bunch of them. I think they're all the same thing, so I feel like if I rip one, I won't need it. I haven't read it
Yeah.
if you haven't noticed. And then I kind of want to put it in here and maybe like write something cute. I kind of want to keep it there, I think.
I know. I kind of was like, should I try wood stain? I've seen a lot of people like staining things, but I haven't ventured into that world. Do you know
Do
how to
it.
take this frame out? Because I honestly can't figure it out. How do
Yeah,
you
you
flip
gotta
it?
like lift these black thingies up.
Oh, it's
I'm gonna
very
use a
strong. I'm not strong enough for this. Of course, I hype us up and say we can't possibly mess it up and we can't even figure out how to take the picture frame out, which is
right.
like
You
should be
like
the
step one.
easiest part.
How do
I
you get this
see.
up?
Oh my gosh, you really need to be like very strong to do this. Okay. I think I'm
You,
using some scissors. Wow, they really don't want you to take this picture out. They want you
I
to
got
keep.
it.
Ugh.
I should have brought scissors. That would have been smart.
Oh,
Using a top of a
okay.
pen.
Ooh, I'm
Okay,
probably
wait.
ruining these scissors right now. Oh, okay. I think I
You did
got
it.
it.
Oh my god.
I'm I'm close. Wow, this is what you get for getting a $1 frame from Michael's, I guess.
Maybe I should draw something. I'm not a very good drawer.
Oh, I would imagine that you would be because I feel like you're always making like these cool logos and all this stuff. Of course, we're gonna get into that a little later, but I'm surprised that you say that you're not a good drawer, which that's a really
Not
hard word for me to say. Drawer.
drawer. Drawer.
I sound like
Um,
drawer.
yeah, no, I'm not. I can do everything on the computer, but every time I sketch something out, it looks like, am I allowed to curse here? I don't know.
That's fine. You can go crazy.
It looks like asshole. Like I don't think that's a curse either, but
It's like a body part, it's more like a
uh,
medical term.
I'm like, is that allowed to YouTube?
I think so. We make the rules here.
Yeah, yeah, too. Okay, maybe
Oh my
I
gosh.
need to do
Okay.
part of the book.
I think I'm gonna use this little kind of fake wood paper that I have. I think that might be cute for a
That's
little
cool.
background. And while we're doing this, I'd love to know a little bit about how you started dancing, you know, basically your whole life story.
No pressure.
Simple. Yeah, exactly.
So how was I dancing? So my mom put me in dance class when I was like, okay, she used to say 2.5, and now all of a sudden it's 3.5. So I guess it was 3.5. I feel like she told me 2.5, and ever since she changed it on me, it's ruined my identity. And
Well, I mean, that
um,
is something that, like, when you're little, like, whoever started first, that's like, I started when I was 8. Well, I started when I was 5. It was, like, definitely a thing.
yeah, and she was like, "You started when you were 2.5," and now she was like, "You started when you were almost 4, so you're 3 and 3/4." And I was like, "My whole life is
Who
a
am
lie."
I? Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I grew up in New Jersey, so I went to Miss Patty's School of Dance in Midland Park, New Jersey. And
Shout
they
out to her.
shout out to Miss Patty. They actually just closed
Oh
officially.
no. That makes me think of Gilmore Girls, like Miss Patty. You had the
Yeah.
real deal Miss Patty.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I went to Miss Patty's School of Dance. I actually wanted to like act and sing growing up. So for a long, like probably from the time I started dancing um, until like 7th grade, I want to say. I like didn't really care about dance, which is interesting because given that it's what I do.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if I'm doing this craft right. But then all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, dance is so fun. And then I got like really into it, but I wasn't good. I was always never good. That's like the thing about it. I was
No
suck.
way.
No, I was horrible. Like all these kids, I'm over all these people posting all their like childhood solos, and their legs go higher than mine currently. And I'm like, how are you guys good? They're like doing tricks and acro and whatever.
Yep.
And I'm just like, what? I couldn't even touch my toes. So I was really bad. And I got like really into it when I was like seventh grade. And then I just like went full force and ended up going. So we had a Royal Academy of Dance program growing up. So it was like affiliated with the Royal Academy of Dance, and there were like locations, and you had to like get in. So I ended up auditioning for that. This looks so bad. Hold on. Um,
I believe in you. I believe in you.
I'm gonna try a different paper. Maybe a different page. New page in my life. Um, so yeah, I ended up auditioning, and somehow I got in, and I was like with younger kids because I was so bad. And then yeah, I just ended up moving up and up, and somehow I just like really liked it. So I wasn't good, but I liked it. And ended up going, so everyone started doing like ballet intensives. So I did a couple of those, and then um, I decided to do the Broadway Dance Center like junior training program. So it's like a summer, like a 3-week summer intensive for kids to take class at Broadway Dance Center, because I would do that on the weekends sometimes, or like whenever I had off from school, I'd go in and like take class at BBC, and I'd take like 8 classes in a row or something like that, like
Oh my
six.
gosh.
Two
To be
now.
young, I wish.
I know. I would be like, oh my god, I'm taking 8 classes today. I can't even take one without dying now
Same,
currently.
same.
Um, so yeah, and then I ended up doing that, and they were like, you should audition for our AIM program, which is the Arts and Motion Dance Company, and they were like, you should be in our like full-time dance thing. So I auditioned and I got in, and then I started going to Broadway Dance Center on the weekends, and I was in there. I think Olivia Batista, who was I think on your podcast, she was there
Yeah.
with me. It was really weird. I ended up, because I was a very strong technician, I ended up getting into like all the high levels of everything, because I was like known as the ballet dancer, whereas like at my studio I was known as like the like hip hop jazz dancer.
Yeah. The oh my
Um,
god, story of my life. Like I feel like no matter wherever I go, I'm seen as like the best of what's not popular there. I'm
exactly.
like, okay, who am I?
Exactly. And I was just like, this is um strange. Like I went from being like, oh, you're like so not ballet, to being like, oh, you are a prima ballerina. Um so yeah, I did that for 2 years until I graduated, and then here I am. And then I went to college. That's not true. Then I went to college.
There's more to your story. There's more.
But yeah, also I think I did a good job. What do you think?
Oh my god, that actually looks so cute.
I
I'm
don't think
painting mine kind of this lavender color, and I don't know if I hate it, but
Ooh.
I don't know. I mean, it could work. It could work.
I think I'm
It's
gonna
not
leave mine
really
here.
so imaginative, but it's kind of plain.
I like it. I like that. I don't have any paint because I knew I was gonna mess it up and like get paint everywhere.
Yeah, and especially because you're in the process of moving, so you definitely don't want to mess that up.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my
Oh God.
gosh. So, I mean, that is so cool that you were able to come into the city even as a kid. Like, I always think about that because I've realized recently that, I'm from Boston, so not too far away, but
Hmm.
it's really crazy what you're exposed to and like how that really affects your trajectory, I feel like, as a dancer. And like I never even knew about like conventions and all of these things. And sometimes when you think about like, oh, it's easy to get down on yourself of like, oh, how did this person just like take one class and become like best friends with the teacher? And then you're like, oh, wait, no, they've been dancing with them since they were 8 years old at conventions, or they grew
Yeah.
up like a few towns away from them. Like, it's really crazy. Like, we're not always all like having the same exposure to things, and it creates such unique different types of dancers. So that must have been so cool to be able to come into the city and just like
Yeah.
feel the energy of Broadway Dance Center and all of the, steps and all of that when you're like younger. That must have been so cool.
Yeah, well, it definitely changed my entire trajectory too, because I already started making connections through Broadway Dance Center and like working with choreographers when I was still in high school. So then when college came around, I was like, I don't oh, am I going to like go away and do a dance program and then come back and basically forge the relationships that I already have been working on? Or should I just go and stay in the city, study something else, and then just keep doing what I'm doing and auditioning, which is basically what I ended up
Yeah, that is so cool. So you went to college, you went to Fordham?
doing. I went to Fordham. I studied
Nice.
global business. Um,
Wow, what made you decide to do that?
So I've always like kind of been interested in business from a young age. My mom was actually an advertising major, and I was just always interested in marketing. I worked for a startup while I was in high school. Actually, I always forget this. They like offered me a job right out of high school to like come and work in Silicon Valley. So I was like always doing that
Wow.
in high school too. It was strange. It was a strange time to be alive. Um, I also made this. I don't know if this looks cool or not.
I think that does look cool. I
Okay.
say go for it, just get creative. That's something that this show and this process has helped me like sometimes it's fun to just create and even if it sucks, then that's what it is. We don't always have to be perfect.
Right. We can just
Plot
create to
twist.
create it.
Yeah, exactly. Amazing.
Hmm.
So when you finished college, was that when you started to focus a bit more on like professional dance jobs or were you doing that while still in college?
Yeah, I was doing it while still in college. So I always say like I never really went to college because I was never in class. Um, so yeah, it was pretty bad. Nobody really knew who I was. I didn't really have like that many close friends because I would just like never be in class. I'd be like in rehearsal for something or like in an audition or in a callback or I would like skip tests and be like, I'll take them another time. I'm working. I'm doing a gig or whatever. Um, and I ended up signing with Block my sophomore year too. So
Cool. What was
uh,
that process like? Did you go to one of those like crazy open calls or did you submit or like I'm always intrigued to find out how people get with agents because I feel like it's such a coveted, sometimes secretive experience for some
yeah,
people.
100%. I'm always an advocate of like uncovering that
Yeah.
I don't know, secrecy.
There we go. I'm gonna give you an applause for that.
I
We got there.
feel like that definitely deserves an applause.
Yeah.
But what am I saying? I lost my train of thought.
Block.
Block. So I went to all those auditions. I always went to those like open calls, and I just never got anywhere from them.
Yeah.
They were also always super commercial, which is not really what I wanted to do. Um, and I was always a little bit selective with who I want to be with because I was like, I don't know, I don't want to be with like any agent who will want me. Like it may not be a good fit, and I'd rather just do my thing, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so I ended up I always just like sent submissions. I would like email people directly. I would do submissions through websites. I would, yeah, do anything under the sun,
All of it.
all of the things. And I did a submission through the Block website. And what ended up happening, I didn't know at the time. They looked at my resume and whatever I had written and all my stuff, and they called Ricky Hines, who is a dancer, choreographer, director, not dancer, director, choreographer, an associate. And we had worked together. I did Broadway Bears, and he was my choreographer.
Ah.
And he is signed with Block. So basically, what had happened, they saw him on my resume and they gave him a call and were like, "What do you think of Maya?" And he was like, "Sign her." So I ended up coming
Wow.
in. Yeah, I ended up coming in for a meeting, and the next day, I think they gave me an offer to sign, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then like
Yeah.
obviously 2 days later I got like an offer from somewhere else. And then when it like rains, it pours.
Yep.
But then like when you and then when you're searching for it and you really want it, it feels like a drought. So
Yeah.
um, I definitely, and I encourage everyone to just like be transparent and find people's emails, right? Ask for referrals, right? If you're trying to get an agent, you have people in your network who are signed and they will be happy to give you a referral. Just ask. And that's
Yeah.
probably what goes along the most way. Goes goes I can't. No,
You
I'm
got
not
it.
even
You
I'm
got
not
it.
even it,
I
I'm
understood what you meant.
it goes the longest way. I don't know what's English
What's
anymore.
the phrase? Honestly, I've struggled with English a lot, especially during this pandemic when I didn't speak to a lot of people for a long time. I forgot
Yeah,
words like basic words like stick. I saw a dog carrying a stick and I was like, look at that big something in its mouth. So I'm there with you.
it's a good word to forget in that
Yeah.
sentence too.
Yeah, it's true. So you mentioned Broadway Bears. What is one of your favorite dance opportunities or experiences? And I say that because I know sometimes unpaid work can be the most fun, even though we should all be getting paid for our services. But what is one of your favorite dance experiences that you've had?
Um, oh my God, what a hard question. Mm, honestly, I have two.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay, one is definitely Broadway Bears. Both times I did it were amazing. The first just drop my light. Drop my
It's one of those days. Don't worry about it.
light. I kicked it. I kicked it.
I'll
Okay.
show my. This is my.
Wait, that looks good. I made. I did this and I outlined the outside. I put a
I
bunch of
like it.
different colors, but I don't know what
I
to do
like
next.
it. I like it.
Maybe I'll like make a box.
Yeah.
Um, Broadway Bears, yeah. Getting distracted. Broadway Bears, the people are amazing. It's such a good cause. I got to work with such amazing choreographers and humans and dancers, and the event is just so fun. Um, and yeah, you're supposed to, fun fact, you're supposed to be over 21, but I did it when I was 19 and 20, and I've never done it legally. Um,
Wow. I mean, it is like a crazy show. So for anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's kind of like a bunch of. I mean, there's tons of Broadway people there, right? It's for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, right? That's what it benefits, and it's really like a scandalous show where there's a lot of butts and boobs and skin, and it's just like a wild time. And is it at where does it usually happen? Like at a big theater?
it's at Hammerstein Ballroom. It's like where a
Oh,
lot of concerts
cool.
are, and they like build out the stage basically, and it's like you
Wow.
are crowd surfing the entire time. It is crazy.
Oh
Uh,
my gosh.
that is definitely up there in experiences, and just the fact that I did it um, so young, it was like it was like a cool thing to be such an outsider on all of it.
Yeah.
So that, and then I recently, like right before the pandemic, I was the associate choreographer for Josh Burgos on a lab of a new show.
So cool.
It was so fun, and it was my first time in a role like that, like on the creative side, and working with him in that capacity was super cool too. So those are definitely two highlights for
Did
sure.
you do the show on the Intrepid?
I didn't. No, that was like Broadway Dance Center, like
Yeah,
for
and then he said that because I did that and I was like, was she in it with me? Because there's so many people there, I didn't even know. That was so. That was the first time I ever like been around him, and I was like,
with him.
oh my
He's
gosh, I was starstruck to
He
say the least.
is the nicest man ever, and like just like a kind, gentle human soul, and like cares about everybody. And I just wish we had more choreographers like that. You know, cared
Yes,
about
a hundred
humans.
percent, 100%. So, what is your? I know you mentioned kind of not wanting to go down the commercial route. So, what is like your dream dance job? Like, what is your ultimate goal? If you could just like snap your fingers and have any dance job ever, what would you pick?
Um, okay, so I have like different tiers of goals that I like want to do.
Okay.
So my big dance goal would probably be, obviously, I want to open an original company of a Broadway show. Um, but past that, I kind of want to do things that aren't dance
Yeah.
related. Like I do, like I want to dance on Broadway, and I also want to like dance in TV shows and movies and Netflix and all those things. And I
Yeah.
also want to like act in them and do other things. And I don't know. So it's like I
Yeah.
have a lot of different goals in different things, but I'd say like dance, open an original cast on Broadway. Um, Hopefully, maybe even be an associate when I'm older on a show, and then also I want to dance in like TV, film, like I don't know. I want to do a lot of things. So come back. The industry needs to come back. Is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I need
Yeah.
enough time.
Hopefully that you spoke it into existence. It's gonna happen for you. I would not be surprised if any of those things happened.
I would shit my pants probably.
Seriously. And I think that it's also it's so healthy and good to have different types of goals and different dreams. I feel like sometimes we're kind of taught that in order to achieve anything, we have to only focus on one thing and you have to really find your niche. And I know that that's or niche or what I don't know what the real proper that's like GIF and GIF. I don't know what it is. But it's like there's good and bad about narrowing your path and your view, but I think it's good to be well rounded and have a lot of different dreams and goals because why not? Like, we can do anything we want.
Agreed.
So,
And I think that like I always feel bad for people who are like, I want to move to New York and be a rock head. And it's like, okay, but once you achieve that, what else? Like what else do you want to do? And if you're so focused on one thing, you're gonna miss out on so many other like opportunities and happiness and fun
yeah,
things, you know?
100%. Okay, well, it is time for our first game. Let me get this little. It's time for Would You Rather. So let's see what we get. And if you're watching live or watching the replay, you can definitely comment. If you're live, we can see what you write and we'll share what you pick. And if you're watching the replay, definitely comment below. But let's see. I'm gonna randomly pick and see what we get. One from each color.
Exciting.
Ooh, okay. Oh, okay. This is one that I got a little recently. Would you rather have roller skates for feet or be pooped on daily by a seagull?
Roller skates for feet, definitely.
Yeah, I think that would be fun,
Yeah. And think of all the commercial work you could do.
right? And isn't there, what's the show where they're all on roller skates?
Xanadu.
Yeah, booked instantly.
And you get to
Like,
save on
no
costs.
competition. No competition. Okay.
Done.
Would you rather never eat chocolate or candy again or have to sleep upside down hanging from a tree branch, whatever the weather?
Oh, I feel like never eat chocolate or candy.
Yeah, the
I feel like,
sleeping would be probably kind of vital for like life.
yeah, I feel like maybe it'd be good for me to not have chocolate or sweets, you know?
I know,
Like that's
I definitely need to cut back. I eat too much candy. My teeth are not happy with me. Ooh, oh, okay. This is an interesting pairing. Would you rather have an alarm go off each time you fell asleep or feel dizzy every time you lie down?
How long do you feel dizzy for is the question.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like all the time or because if an alarm went off every time you fell asleep, you would never sleep.
Right,
So if you just lie down and you feel dizzy, but then you're able to fall asleep, you don't feel dizzy in your sleep. So I
right.
think I'd pick that one.
I'd pick that one too, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
I
in
think that
agreement
was good. Yeah, I think that was good. Okay, so let's talk passions outside of dance. Let's start off with my favorite My favorite thing on the internet. Let's talk. Make your mark. Tell everyone about it. What is Make Your Mark?
Yeah. So, Make Your Mark is a strategy driven branding, consulting, and web design company. So, what we do is we look at the brand from the inside out and we talk strategy in terms of visuals and also in terms of your marketing and your business structure and basically everything really. So it's a bit of consulting, a bit of design, not a bit. So it's a lot of both. And basically help you take your brand to the next level and become a healthy CEO of your own brand.
Amazing. And how did you get into this? Like, how did you start it? What inspired this? Also, like, your branding is so cute. Your logo is so cute. Like everything is perfect about it. Like, I'm obsessed. I tell everyone whenever anyone says like, "Oh, I need a new website," I'm like, "Make your mark. Go check it out. Go."
Oh, you are so sweet. Well, thank you for the referrals. But yeah, I started in college. I took a design class, just like a random one-off design class, a graphic
And you
design class.
showed up to those classes.
Yeah, well, I actually, the reason I took it was because I had to take a liberal arts credit and I didn't want to take any stuff during the day because I had auditions. So I had to take a night class. And this one just happened to fit into my schedule. It was easy. I was like, I need the A. So I took it. It was chill. I was like, I made some stuff. I didn't really care for it. And then I took another design class because I was like, I'm kind of interested in this. Like, it's probably good for me. And in that class, I was obsessed with everything. We talked about like UX, UI design, which is user experience, user interface design. So, talking about like
Right.
when you go to make an app, right? What does the first screen say? So, like, we were trying to do one that shows you an app that would show you what's around you for healthy food options, right? And it one of the things we wanted to design was an alarm, not an alarm, but like um sorry, I got distracted. My text
A
go through.
notification.
A notification distracted me. Oh, um anyway, we needed to figure out how to alarm people every time they wanted to. They were like, oh, I'm gonna go get this. Oh, it was a vegetarian app. That's what it was. They're
Ah,
like, oh, I could go get halal down the street and have some lamb. And then like your phone would be like, or check out this vegetarian option. So you were like, how do we know when to alarm them? And it was like, okay, what time do you usually have lunch? Like, when do you have dinner? What time do you have breakfast? And then he was like, that's too many questions. Like, all you need to know is what time they wake up, and then you can basically calculate everything else based on what time they wake up to send push notifications. So, talking about things like that really changed the user interface of the app. And I was just so intrigued by all that and like the psychology behind it.
mm.
Um, in that class, I also learned like the basics of code, and I had so much pushback about it. I was like, I don't want to learn the code. This is so dumb. Now I code for a living, so um, that's really fun.
So
Um,
crazy how that happens.
but yeah, that's how that happened. And all throughout college, I was always building my friends' websites on like Wix and stuff, just like
Yeah.
making pretty designs and like feeling like what color people are was always something I was good at.
I
Um,
love that.
it's a very strange thing that I could do. But I launched Make Your Mark right after I graduated. So I graduated in December of 2019, so right before the pandemic. And um, I just did like artist branding and I like started coding websites instead. And I started doing that when almost I had some dance jobs lined up. And so I was like, oh, I'm just going to like do this whenever. And then the pandemic hit and I was like, all right, let's do it, you know?
Yeah. You have really been like going full force. I feel like this pandemic, and it's like I feel like you do like dancer websites, which I think people don't realize is so important to really brand yourself as a dancer. As a dancer, you yourself are a business. And I feel
Yeah.
like that's often like forgotten about. It's like I got to get the steps. I got to have the lipstick. I got like but it doesn't really matter if you can't like show up and show out on the internet, which is like where people are, especially after this past year. I mean, everything is digital now, so it is
100%.
so important. So I love seeing all of your creative ways, and it's also awesome that everything you do is never like cookie cutter, like just, oh, here it is, blah blah blah. Like every design that you do is so interesting and so unique, and like totally fits the vibe of the person. So like you totally have a gift for that, and I'm always so excited to see it. But I know you've been working with a lot of different brands now, and like dance brands and like other brands, which is so cool. And like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it's just so fun. Like, what is the process like of when you like get do like a super basic rundown of like what you do when someone wants to work with you?
Yeah, totally. So just a comment on like the branding for artists, I always say like your brand is what everybody says about you behind your back, right? Everyone's going to talk about you behind your back. Now you have the chance to change it and change the narrative. There's so much power there instead of fear. So that's kind of where I approach everything is like you have the power to change how people perceive you. You should be using that to your advantage instead of shying away from it. So
Wow, that's good.
um, but that being said, yeah. So usually, I ask people to schedule a consultation, so they can either do that directly on my website, which is what most people do, and some people go through my contact form to apply to work with me. So I do a 15-minute consultation where I hear a little bit about what they need, make sure it's going to be a good fit, watch out for any like major red flags, and then also just talk about my brand and make sure that I'm the right person for them. Obviously, it's an investment, and I want someone to be sure that they need it right now and that I'm the right person to do it. So we talk for about 15 minutes. Then it's actually not 15 minutes. I say 15 minutes, more like 30 to 40. Um, and then I send an email after and like follow up with all the information we spoke about. And then you get a contract, you get an invoice, you do the whole thing. And then I send my first thing, which is a welcome packet, which runs through the entire process, and a brand questionnaire. So the brand questionnaire is the most important part. So I have one for artists and I have one for brands. And I've just been away from doing artist branding because I just think I have a lot more fun on the business side, and I love working with
Mm-hmm.
artists who have businesses specifically.
Yeah.
Um, so it's been a transition, which is probably why you've seen more of my brand work rather than my um, artist kind of work. Because I had my template series, so I've been sending people to make their own.
Yeah,
And
those are so cool. Definitely check that out if you want to DIY a little website for you, because your templates are also so cute.
thank you. Yeah, no, they're so fun. I've just loved seeing what people have been making with their websites too. Um, but anyway, yeah, we have a business questionnaire, which will go through like your mission statement, your vision statement, your target audience, right? Like brand adjectives. And it gets into like the nitty gritty. We want to know what kind of coffee do they drink, right? Or do they drink Starbucks, or do they
Ooh.
go to their like local store across the street? Or are they a cat person? Are they a dog person? And these questions all seem kind of trivial, but you start to understand who your consumer is, and then you can market towards them, right? Because somebody who drinks Starbucks every day is a super different person who drinks like their local cold brew from their, like, they care about their coffee and they live in Bushwick, and you
Yeah.
know, that kind of person, versus somebody who is from Maryland and drinks Starbucks every single day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so we do that. I read it. We have a 30-minute meeting. We talk about everything. We talk about business structure. We talk about things that are not great right now. I go in, I design everything, and I design in the one concept method, which means that I design, in my professional opinion, one brand from that's full fledged, from logos to submarks to patterns to mock-ups of everything that could
Ooh,
be this brand, and I
love the
send
mock-ups.
it's my favorite part too. It's where you see the brand come to life. And so
Yeah.
many people will just send like black and white logos, and it's like you can't imagine that on a t-shirt, right? So it's really hard to get a sense of what that's going to look like on there. Um, But yeah, so we do that. I send that over. I send it with a recording of me talking, and when that's not, and then we go from there, and then chat about that, build a website, and that's basically it.
That's so cool. I love hearing like the behind the scenes. And I love you post like your like design process and sometimes on Instagram and like do polls and it's like so cool to get brought into that because it is really cool like when if you try to DIY it yourself if you're a dancer out there who's like trying to figure out something and it can be kind of overwhelming because it's like I personally I can only speak for myself. It's like I don't trust that like the colors I like as a person might not match what the actual brand of what I present out as a person or like for example this show even like it's like having someone who you can trust who like has the skills and knowledge is so important but also the fact that artists and you are a dancer and an artist yourself. I think it's like such a cool combination, so everyone should go hire you.
Thank you so much. You're so sweet. But yeah, it's been really fun. So it's inspiring to like work with so many amazing dancers and artists and
Yeah,
entrepreneurs. So yeah.
amazing. What are some of your other passions outside of dance when you're not like busy being a boss? What kind of stuff do you like?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of like modeling and commercial work recently, which has been fun. I don't know if it's really counts as a hobby. It's just like another job. Um,
No, it's still cool. It's still cool.
so that has been really fun. And then um, I love cooking. I like baking. I like hiking. All like the basic girl things. And I love reading. That makes me really happy, and I'm sad when I don't get to read at night. But
Yeah. Are you reading
um,
a book right now?
I am reading, it's actually right here. I'm reading this book right now. It's called The Defining Decade. Um,
Ooh.
it's about why your 20s matter and how to make the most of them now. That's really just the subtitle
Ooh.
that I read to right. Um,
I love it.
but yeah, it's about how to set yourself up for success in your 30s. And
Ooh.
yeah, it's fun.
Yikes. I just turned 30 and I am not so excited about it. So maybe I need to like read that book in retrospect and then hope that I
Yeah,
did all the things that I should have done.
I'm sure you did.
Okay, it's time for our last game, which is not really a game, more of a mystery. Questions, questions, questions. So, I'm going to randomly pick a question from each of these loosely color coded categories. Let me see what we get. And then you can always veto if it's like too deep or something. Some of them are funny, and some of them are emotional questions.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh no, that one I got recently, so I'm vetoing it myself. Okay. Ooh, okay. Here are the questions. Let's see what we got. Okay, they're not too hard. Pick a
Okay.
color.
We'll do some orange for Make Your Mark.
I love it. What food will you absolutely not eat under any circumstance?
I would say probably meat because I'm a vegetarian.
That's a good one. That's an easy one. That's an easy one. That counts.
That counts.
For
Do I have to
me,
pick
it's
another one?
bananas. I can't eat bananas ever. I'll throw up. Creeps me
Really?
out.
Bananas?
I hate them. Everything about them.
Really?
The smell. Ugh, gross.
What is the shape? The shape's
I
kind of
know.
cool.
I know. It's like kind of fun.
It's like, you get to like feel it. That's cool.
Ugh, I hate it. Okay, next one.
Um, let's do blue.
Have you ever sent a text to someone you didn't mean to?
Constantly, all the time. I'm the worst at it. I do it all the time.
Oh
I literally did it last week. I texted my mom by accident instead of my friend to come to the rooftop, and she was like,
no.
I do it all the time. Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
so.
gosh. Next color.
Pink.
Have you ever been out of the country? You got a lot of easy ones.
Yeah, I'm loving these. Hey, pink. Out of the country. Yeah, I've been to Israel and Spain and Europe in general. I've been out of the
Yeah.
country. You didn't ask where. You just asked if I have.
I love to know though. It's like I'm dreaming about what it's like to leave America because it's been so long. So,
Wait, you've
what
been out of the
is?
country, though, right?
Oh yes, yes. Just not since the
Yeah, anytime
pandemic.
soon.
Yeah, yeah. I lived in London for a year. So hot tip. I mean, not a hot tip. A sneak peek. No, that's not it either.
In fact,
Fun fact. There we go. We got there. We're learning English today. Maybe we were born out of the country and we didn't know it.
and this is our
Okay.
first time here.
This
Learning
is
a
our
language.
first time in America, our first time speaking English. I think we're doing a pretty great job.
Yeah, for that, yes.
Okay, last one of these questions. What characteristics makes a person successful? Kind of a deep one to end it out with.
That one. Um, Being determined and being unafraid to ask for things,
Mm,
even if the answer might be no. And
ooh,
being lucky.
that's true too. Okay, the last question that I ask everyone is what brings out your most creative self?
What brings up my, I know you prefaced this. You were like, I'm going to ask this, and then I was like, I'm going to not have an answer for you. I'm going to not think about it after that second. What brings out other people, probably being
Yeah.
inspired by others, whether it's design or dance or literally any other creative aspect, other people and ideas and collaboration would probably be
Mm,
it.
I love that. Where can people find you if they want to connect after the show?
Yeah, my Instagram personally is at Maya Kazzaz, and then my business one is at Make Your Mark by M. Um, and then obviously makeyourmarkbym.com and mayakazzaz.com. We're very easily branded.
Yes, it is superb branding and it's so cute. I know I keep saying it. It's not cute. Cute is not like the brand that you have. I just need better adjectives cuz it's my first time speaking English. I'm just still learning.
You'll get it. You'll get there. We'll both get
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I'm gonna buy a thesaurus. But if you would like to find me, you can find me at Haley Grove for my personal Instagram, and then definitely check out the Dancers Doing Stuff Instagram. I'm slowly rolling out stuff from past episodes. This is episode, I want to say it's like 36, maybe 37, and I just posted information from episode 5. So we're getting there. So stay tuned. It's a surprise every day. You don't know what you're going to get. And then if you would like to be a guest on the show, definitely email me at essentiallyhaley@gmail.com and subscribe here on the YouTube to Essentially Haley. Click the subscribe button, like the video, share it with your mom, send it to everyone. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and that 4,000 watch hours, the magic numbers. So definitely help me out if you can. And then the final thing is the Patreon for this show is officially live. There's a lot of really fun perks this Friday. I'm actually teaching the first Patreon patron only dance class, all levels. You don't have to be a dancer. It's just a fun way to play and encourage creativity and not worrying about being perfect. And the cool thing about the Patreon, which is the thing I'm most excited about, is once we hit 100 patrons, I'm going to start the Dancer's Dream Grant program where I will be donating $100 every month to a person who has a dance dream or something that needs help being funded. So if we get more than 100 subscribers, it'll be $1 per patron. So it could be like $500 a month. And you could use that to hire Maya to help you with your website as a little help for that. So, definitely check out the Patreon.
Yeah. I love
English is hard,
yeah.
and help get that going. So I think that is it. Thank you so, so much for being here. This was so fun. I made a little special note. I don't know if you can see it, if
It's so
it's
cute.
mirrored.
Yeah,
Maya
it's like
is the best on my dry erase board, or what is this called? Dry
I didn't get
erase
any further
marker.
than this.
I like it. Yours looks cool. Honestly, it looks super cool.
It's gonna
I
be
love
it's a
it.
make your mark.
I love it. Make your mark. Amazing. Thank you again so much for being here. And everyone, have a
Thanks
great
for having
night.
me. Have a good night.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.